ましょうね。では改めてビルダーバー会議です。何度も見てるんやったら言うわ、説明するわ。わからずやでも言うわ。俺が第2のビルダーバークリンゲンデール機関です。そしてこちらがすまんねえ干渉を受けてます。さあ日本のサイトまで攻撃、どういうことだ。お前ら間違ってもここを攻撃したらアメリカに対して戦争を仕掛けたと見なされるぞ。親米勢力に対して戦争を仕掛けたと見なされるぞ。気をつけろよ。ここのサイトも攻撃、アトランティックカウンシルも攻撃。なんでや。ここアメリカのワシントン DC にあるの本部やぞ。本部やぞ。第2のビルダーバー会議。お前たち今攻撃したやろ。したやろ。ああ、攻撃。そうだよ。間違ってもここを攻撃したら死にますよ。ここ一応権威ありますから。間違っても攻撃したらダメですよ。ふざけてもダメだよ。水沢おめえ、お前 CIA の工作員やったらここの組織のことは知ってるはず。お前ここの組織のことは知ってるはずや。干渉者は死ぬぞ。これ出しときます。これしたら本当に一斉に全面戦争を仕掛けるんだ。さすがに全面戦争を仕掛けるんだ。相当過激らしいね、ビデオが。特に軍関係者に手出したら死にます。気をつけてね。軍関係者に手出したら死にますから気をつけて。笑い事だよ、本当に。これ、ウォーニングリポートします。通報じゃなくて、これ、通帳って言います。ウォーニングリポート。ハイリスクっていうね、ハイリスク。あ、通帳しておきます。マジでメッセージっていう。笑い事やりません。もしかして、水飴たち、日本の防衛省のこういうサイトも話したって言わさんぞ、ほら。言ったら。ほら、話したら。本当に死ぬぞ。冗談は皆無。特にみんな7万連中に一言。お前ら調子こくと死ぬぞ。世界支配者気取り。いい加減にしろってことで。強い木の元の連中には再度通帳する。大体ポルノサイトもね、18金もののね、攻撃受けたらどういうことやねん。やってないとは。8人は日本でした。日本の滋賀県の長浜市でした。渥美亮太がやってるんや。辻がやってるんや。森本の橋本一派がやってるんや。山本一派がやってるんや。おもつにやりまくってんねん。こういうことでした。あまり調子こくと死ぬで。調子こくと死ぬで。俺は人自身しても無理。俺はお前らに対して大抵の平成しか俺をおしゃしめ死ねってことで。こういうことでした。もうすでに俺も制裁食らってます。俺に YouTube、Google もね、配信規制検討し始めて。お前ら、最近知ってますよ。政治広告は禁止。俺は規制前の話。相当厳しいらしいね。日本側が圧力をかけていました。そういうことでした。 さあ、これでも分かる通りね、当たり前です。岸大臣たち、今ね、もう日米手に負えなくなったんで、今、同盟強化してるの、もう戦争する気ないから。そうそう。もうちょっと交流しようって言ったよ。交流しようって言ったよ。軍事交流しようって言って。ああいうことにした。ああ、AJ ってからも。ああ。DGF ね。ああ、これまだ。はい、こちらは水曜ね。ちょっとこの項目にようチャタムハウスの項目絶対ある。関係深いから。コンスピラシー。こうやって探します。まあ当たり前やけどね。はい、こちらの第2のビルダーバウ会議ね、結構権威ありますね。ああ、そういうことでした。こういう団体がありますからね。意外とやってないなぁ。DGF ね。あった。チャタムハウス。
Okay, so now you're going to be really excited about this. I didn't tell you before I asked the question, but there's a surprise. I am the porno fairy godmother, and I'm here to bestow your wish on you. Are you ready? Did it work? Did it work? Did it work?
こうやって探します。
Oh my god.
はい、こうやって意外と報道してるんですね。皆さんこれ共通してるんです。日本の芸能人あまり言及してないあまり報道はいよ、DGF ね。DGF です。まあこっちが本体だけどね。はい、こちら側にまあこうやって日本の各界の皆さん、ここ知ってるはずや。 DGF 俺が言っとけよ。これベンジャミン・フローさんたちの参考にはサムが見つけました。別に違法じゃないか。この人たちの宣伝になるからどうぞご協力します。 DGF の皆さん。やっぱりね、関係深いと思った。 DGF の皆さんもやっぱ関係深いと思った。皆さん、ドイツね、ゴミ仲間と都市協定 もうそれでアウグスベル輝いてるから文句言いんかって。あ、それは心配だ。ゴミ仲間に今圧力かけてるわ。テロリスト仲間に総攻撃って。はい、こういう団体よ。はい、DGF。ではサムね、こういう特集戻りました。さあどうなるかね。さあ EGF EGAP ってDGB って言うんだよね。DGB。はい、やっぱりね、分裂しました。分裂させたの。あ、辰巳亮太か。はい、EGF でした。まあ、こういうの見せんとダメだと思った。やっぱりクリンゲールでしょ。ここ気に入ったわ俺。ここ宣伝したら GAP、JAIP、JIA 同様にね。さあここね、おっしゃいましょう。意外と日本で報道会もやった。あら、意外とここ強かった。さあ強いです。ここさあ JIA むっちゃ強いですね。むっちゃ権力ある。さあ超保守的な組織になってん。組織になったよここ。さあここ開けましょう。ビルダーバーグ会議です。さあ最初からビルダーバーグ会議作ってました。こういうことは森田明らバカやと思った。三極委員会作ってここに参加すればよかったよ。さあいや田中信夫さんね、このメンツたちの仲裁ですね。提案しただけ向こうが提案して最終的に田中信夫さん。あ、彼 OK 意外と了承もらいました。彼がUN のユナイテッドネーションズエグゼクティブでね、まあ関係者だと分かったの、幹部だと分かったんで、これで出席認めました。お偉いさんだったんでな。一応彼もオブザーブの立場を出席しました。私はね、基本的にオブザーブの立場ですから勘違いしないでくださいって言って、はい、ニュートラリストですって言いました。こういう立場の人がいます。でした。皆さん、間違ってここの公式サイト攻撃は絶対怖ってぞ。お前らの支持するアメリカへぞ。吉本興業、バーニング、お前らも支持してるアメリカ攻撃したらいるぞ本当に。こういうことでした。悪崎も大概にしろって。そういうことでした。いや、ここの公式サイトも攻撃してどうなってるんだいって。さてもうここいい。やりすぎや本当に。ほんでこのメンツたちね、ちょっと日本製品ちょっと圧力ある。You never know. You could do some crazy shit on cam where they're なんでかというと、
God, look at who we have here. Two-time winner of X Men, MILF extraordinaire. Bridget B.
The fact that this one is saying that, come on.
Stop.
Okay.
まあやっぱりね、日本語聞いて
Your interview woman.
Thank you, Brady, for looking amazing.
あ、これはいい、すみません。
So, other than
これ見れる。
obviously
は
MILF
い、これが
performer of
ビルダーバーグ
the
ね。
year.
まあ後でカットするけどね。
Performer showcase of the
そう、
year,
あんまり知らないとは知らない。
Which your outfits in that were fucking fierce.
あ
listen to the entire audience.
I figured you. I mean, no.
あ、被害被ったね。
Like, so
あ、被害被ったんだ
I
よ。
even told him, I'm
Oh,
like, are you sure you're
Ah.
not
Oh.
a dead silence?
ポンズグループ、
You're not supposed to because you just, he's got it
被害被りまし
He's
た。
like, that is the last thing I am. I'm like, that is great.
それで今、
He's, yeah, he did it all, and I'm so happy after 10 years. I
これ日本政府に今、
had to do my first one with someone.
圧力かけに来ました。はい、
Silence.
さすがに圧力かけに。被害被りました。
Words were, regardless
はい、被害被ったんで今。
seen, and he is to
Ah.
make just a goes strong on. case for
あ、被害被ったんだよ。
Let them fuck you. Yeah.
suffering.
But that's how you are. Like you're not gonna lay back and just take it. You're gonna do your
Ah,
job.
yeah,
You're gonna
go
fuck.
with
You're
them.
gonna enjoy yourself.
Depending
Yeah.
on suffering, I think is quite obvious because
まあ圧力かけに来たんだよ。
but usually because of us, it would be the more dominating one.
Because that's what us elves play. The cougar, the attacker, right?
Well, you know, when you're doing it as well as the list of milk
おっ
this
と
year,
強行。
it's a genre that most people are still loving, and it's like, damn, stop doing it so good then.
Well, thank God they're still loving it for us, right? All the way to the bank.
圧力かけ
Honey,
て
it is not going anywhere as long as we're here.
There you go. As long as Bridget and I are holding this shit down. No,
We are holding this shit down. I got one hip
Stop it.
And
All right.
that the proper antidote to
If you
that is not
have
the pursuit of
any
happiness.
porn-related superpower at all, what would it be?
荒らされたんですよ、このメンサージ。もう発信源はあった。水は埋めになって分かった。
Democratic society, but the willingness to accept voluntary responsibility for those preconditions and then working to rectify them. I hate to say it without sounding us non-ladylike, And the corollary of that relaxes, is that
And
it's almost inevitably the case that people find the meaning that sustains themselves through suffering
and it pops.
and that enables them
You know?
to
I wish I had a superpower that I could make that happen automatically.
strain their own
Oh, like it was effortless. Like right now on the red carpet, some male performer could come up and boom.
And it's surprising
There you go. Yeah.
Although I love doing my scenes without prep or anything because I want fans to see that moment.
I kind of do too. Like I vacillate between the two. Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you can just slide it in, you look like it's a problem. If you can just slide it.
Silence is Yeah. You want them to be like, it's not. Is it gonna fit? Is it not gonna fit? The audience has that moment. I have that moment. Everyone has a moment.
They would like it to
Is
survive your
it?
life.
Is it?
The result
Does it
is
have a
that
tail
it's
back?
going to be yes.
Have a tail back?
The people who are working to undermine it are a tiny radical fringe.
Oh.
Just like my friends who
Is she allowed to lick the leg?
disproportionate amount of exposure and power. And the people in the middle are lost in some sense without a uniting narrative.
We had the best meal last night. Did you try and have the street corn with the lobster?
Democratic
い
countries,
や、目立たせしたの大間違えた。
the doctrine of
死ねん。
It's not the doctrine of happiness.
圧力かける。
The
I thought you were
doctrine
gonna have an
圧力。
orgasm.
これはね、
foundation,
滋賀県に集中攻撃した。滋賀県でした。
maybe of the cause
Thunder.
itself, which is something that I happen to believe, given the important role that consciousness plays in existence itself,
これで
and that
喧嘩。
it's
Did.
useful
I
and
thought
necessary
I
to call
こ
to
れで
remind them of their responsibility
So
as
what are you
sovereign
up for
individuals.
this year at the
And so I'm encouraging
I'm up for 5, but I won't be no female performer of the year.
to develop a vision for their life,
I'm so happy about all of them. So happy.
in a manner, and not in a manner
I'm the kind of person that if I like study,
that
you
pertains
know what I'm
specifically
nominated
to
in,
their
like
narrow
Who's the surprise for this?
self-interest or happiness.
Didn't even know you were up for it, and then you win it.
Much broader in scope to
What do
think
you have
that
for sure?
これで
Don't ask me what I'm up for, because I also don't remember.
should take on the volunteer
Sorry.
requirement to take care of
I'm
versus a collective that stretches across time, and whatever you do impulsively in the present merely means that you sacrifice yourself in the future, and that's not a sustainable or intelligent solution. And you want to take on responsibility for yourself and your future self in a way that's of maximal benefit to your family,
Porn-related
if you can manage that, and then perhaps if there's something left over in terms of your capability, you can do both of those things in a way that maximally supports and serves the community. For many young people, that's something they've never heard. We need a very bad case.
And give the right
Very
Limit
bad
it.
case.
Like, you don't want to, like, accidentally insult someone's dick, right? You want to be like, you have the biggest dick in the world and say something totally
これ
wrong.
も全部これはちょっと
And that if they adopt it, that actually constitutes something of singular
これは
importance. And that's an old religious idea in some sense. That each person has a soul,
With
let's
adult
say,
empire and
that
Carly
is somehow a center of reality itself, and that needs to be manifested
We're doing
in life
Jeff.
itself, and that if it isn't manifested, then something of tremendous value is not brought forward, and worse, and this is the end of the case, let's say, and worse,
There's
to
nipple.
the degree that that's not brought forward, then something hellish
So
moves
what
in
are you
to
up
take
for
its
this
place.
year? I am
People understand this
your
sort of thing a
edge
lot more
of
clearly
is
than
kind
you
of
might
the
think,
one I did
if
a
you
lot
explained
with
it to
is
them
up for a series of
as
the
if
year.
they might understand.
So Shape of Beauty is up for
And then
series
it
of the year.
gives them a series of
It's pretty cool.
purposes
And then,
that
as you know, baby,
straightens
I
out
got
their
another
life.
trophy earlier,
And
which was
so my sense is the
Oh
way
my God!
that
So
you
how many years have you been
revivify
sucking dick?
democracy
15. And I'm really
is
good
by
at it after
remembering
15
its
years. I
fundamental
hope to be able to be
insistence
sucking dicks in 15
the
years.
individual
You
is
will.
the cornerstone of the state.
Oh my
And
God!
everything you can possibly
This
do
is
to
Michael
fortify the
Vegas,
individual
and
simultaneously
I know one of them, but what
The individual,
awards
the
are you
eyes
up
of
for
the
at this
state is
AVN?
Ooh, I happen to be
the
nominated.
the living individual is the eyes of the dead state.
Always wanted.
The living individual
Could not have been
revivifies
more
the
honored
state.
to be nominated with you.
すごいね
We forget our concentration
All of
on
my
the
interviews,
sovereignty of the
that's the one
individual,
I'm
the
most
divine
excited
sovereignty of the individual.
The only award I can think of.
Then we undermine the foundation on which democracy is based.
まあ
And then people look for alternatives. They search
It's
for
gonna be
meaning
a good
elsewhere.
winning too.
I know you
Extremist
have
movements
other
of one form
award
or another,
nominations,
or
but what
they collapse into a kind of nihilism.
I have Best DP and I have
And so,
Best Supporting Actor
so that's
for
been my
Perspective.
experience.
That was by Bree Mills, which has a good chance of winning.
It does. It really does. That is such a fun game.
Yeah, it's gonna be
All right. So, now here's a really important question. Are you ready for this?
so ready.
If you could have one porno-related superpower,
To give other people my need to pee.
Well, now it is the end of the Vienna meeting, which was a great meeting. We have had
Zap it to
excellent
someone else in the
discussions.
room.
We have
now would
learned
it
a
be a
lot.
crew member or like your other
Yeah.
talents? Or?
And now I hope to see you
I
in
split it up,
Paris
so they only kind of
next
hampered me a
June
little bit. Just like a
to your
mild
plenary session.
Everyone gets like
And,
12
all of us
milliliters,
we shall
you
be
know,
there.
just spread it out
So
across
please
the
do
room.
come to
I mean, maybe
Paris.
it's like an evil superpower. I don't know.
I didn't say it had to be good. It can be pure evil. You need to urinate. You need to urinate. You need to urinate.
Yes, evil all over.
I love it. I hope we win.
Yeah, me too.
Alright, say goodbye to your friends at Adult Empire.
So this morning we had a session on the future of mobility, and we
So
actually discussed
what
what does
is
it
the
mean for the
beautiful,
auto industry.
stunning, glorious Bella Danger up for this
If
year?
you look at
Whoa.
the auto
Whoa.
industry,
That was
there has
very
never
good
been as
introduction.
much
No, it
change
should be
as
better.
there is today.
I'm
Technology
really
side,
stuck.
connectivity,
Same,
electrification,
no, same.
autonomous driving,
Most epic
on the
hours.
social domain, with sharing, more
prefer here,
organization, new ways of working, and also on the regulation side where it's about
Everything.
emission control
If
and
you
standards,
can list
and
the
also on
awards, she's probably up for
regulation
it.
managing congestion.
Including Male Performer of the Year.
So we
Yeah,
actually
I
covered
should
that.
be
We
fucked.
also talked about
She can wield a
what
fucking
does it
strap
actually
better
mean
than
for the
most of
city?
these dudes.
How will actually the
I
traffic
try.
evolve if you have
I love
more
funny
AVs
mouth
and
bitches.
individual
Darling,
mobility
so
through
tomorrow
AVs?
morning,
What
what
would
are
you
you
love us
doing?
to actually
Your first
work
meal
on,
after this award show?
getting a
Fuck, I've already been
mitigation
eating
on traffic
everything.
and basically how to
Yeah,
deal
like
with,
honestly, like
heightened
I
traffic
ate so
with
much
autonomous
yesterday that I was like, I
vehicles.
have a
What
full
would be
baby.
the impact of actually sharing more
Say,
cars, of basically
I don't know if you
having
have anything that you look
smaller
forward to as a treat.
or
Yeah,
basically
like I just
bus-based,
love fast food.
autonomous
I'm really
vehicles.
disgusting. Like I'll
And
probably have a
actually,
Big
how would
Mac.
you,
I
use
Taco Bell the other morning, like before
based
photo shoot. I'm
pricing?
just
How
like,
would you actually
oh, that's my Taco
work
Bell
as a
delivery.
city to
Like,
make the
You gotta
whole
feed
road
that
mix
beautiful
work?
beauty.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't have,
Better
without fast
transportation
food, I don't believe you can grow that that epic ass.
Yeah, I die at the gym so I can like eat garbage, basically.
So like you build the muscles and then you give it that tiny bit of squish it needs.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Oh my god!
Line so I can touch just
Everybody in line just to come to me.
We had
First
a
of all, your
conversation
outfit
yesterday in the dinner
years.
with Nigel
Did you,
speaking.
did someone make
I
it?
had my friend Bunny Holiday.
would
She
say
has a clothing
the
line,
crisis,
and I
the
basically I
causes of
sketched a
the
picture.
Great
I had this
financial
idea of like an
crisis,
early 2000s,
and whether or
like
not we are in a
latexy type
situation
with matching
where we
gloves and
could
a scrunchie, and
expect
she was like, "I got you, girl,"
major
and it was
difficulties,
exactly what I
taking
wanted.
into account
Exactly what I
we have
want.
done
I didn't know I wanted it until I saw it, but now I know.
in 2007, 2008.
Alright, so my love.
I
First of
have
all,
to say
introduce
that,
yourself to your
the
amazing
questions
fans.
which
This
were
is
asked by
Adult
Nigel
Empire.
were
Hi,
very,
fans
very
of Adult Empire
stimulating
and Jane
and
Wild. I hope you
embark
know who
on
I am by
explaining
now.
that in my
If you
opinion
don't, like,
it
you're
was
living
very
under
much
like
a
a rock that grass has grown through,
we had to
and then
cope
it's
with.
flooded
We
like
had
centuries
certain
ago and is now in a
over-indebtedness
Thank
that
you
had
for that
accumulated
compliment.
from year
So what are you up
2000
for at this
up to
event?
It's a big
2007,
one for me.
2008.
It's
Hmm.
Best Supporting Actress, Best
of
Group
the
Sex
global
Scene,
GDP
Best Girl
as an
Girl Scene
additional
with Abella, actually,
public and
amazing
private
scene.
debt outstanding.
What is the
That
other one?
was
Best
a major
Anal
cause.
Sex Scene,
Another
and
cause
then
was
the iconic
new
female performer of the
emerging
year.
properties
Oh,
of the new global finance system.
I think that might be the most award noms that we've heard so far on the carpet. You're so deserving.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. I'm just like, I appreciate the versatility of the nominations because I love lesbians, but like females my thing. But I love acting too.
And those nominations, you have won for everything across the board, from like hardcore anal, girl, overall performance.
It reflects like who I try to be as a performer and a person, which is just like
You would
I do
expect
what I
that
want
a
and I
major
have
shock
myself.
here
Yeah, I'm a sexual
would
person.
be
Thank God.
transmitted
Hi,
to the
I'm Sheree DeVille.
rest of the
This is
world
Kay Brandt,
as
and
a
we're with
matter
Adult
of
Empire today.
even orders.
So, my love, I know one of the
world in which
answers.
we are,
What
it's a
awards are you
matter
up for
of
this
past
year at
days.
ABS?
And we could
Best
experience
Picture
that
in a couple of categories.
dramatically,
Three of them.
with
Unfolding, which is the
collapse
movie
of
you
Lehman
started,
Brothers.
which is also the
And
number one
we have
best-selling
other
movie of 2019
that
from
are also
Adult
important
Empire.
because, as I said, it's
Like everyone,
multidimensional.
it's fine.
But I stress that the two
What
causes that
the
I
hell is that?
The
mentioned
Lustful Life and
just
Motor
now,
Money Club. So,
namely
yeah.
these emerging
Like
properties
a three-peat on those. Could you like, maybe you could win for
on
each
one
one.
hand, and
I'm ready.
the
I'm ready.
over-burgeoning
Yeah.
global economy
Congratulations for
are
being
still
the
there.
number one film.
And we
Well, thanks for casting me. That was all you.
The level
That was
of
all
debt outstanding,
you, girl.
public and private, as a proportion of
I
global
want this
GDP,
woman to win all of
we
those awards
continue
because
to have
you are like
a
the most
high
fun,
level of
the
debt,
most inspiring
more
director
or
to work
less
for.
at the
Every
same
time I
pace
meet one of her sets, I
after
cry
the
tears of
fact.
joy
Oh,
because
well,
I'm
it's
so
a
honored
good
to be in your
idea.
movies.
Oh,
And you
and
know
this
it's
is
true.
worrying, and it calls for
Mm.
extreme
Super fucking
vigilance,
emotional, so that's part of it.
hard work
And if you keep looking at me like that, I'm gonna cry again. So I can make you say goodbye to your Adult Empire fans before I put
Again,
my face
to
up.
Well, it's using
Keep
it.
encroaching on
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
because you're fucking cool.
どれだろう
that
な
are very difficult to
Oh,
predict,
yeah.
I'm trying to
prove
jump the rope.
resilience
ちょっとで
in
も
the
怒るよこれ
new environment, which
Don't
we
go
will
see
have
it.
to accept because we had
I'm looking at your eyes that I'm actually
in the
remembering
US,
that
in
last thing we
Europe,
did
or
together.
because we
Yeah, I'm
had
thinking about stuffing
geostrategic
candies
events
into your
that would
pussy.
be very, very
Frying
shocking
coffee.
at the global level or for any other reason.
Well, we
That's
do.
what we discussed.
You make me feel a certain way, Angela. So, what awards? I wish it's like, what awards are you not up for? What awards are you up for?
I'm not up for Male Performer of the Year.
You should be. I bet she can wield the strap better.
But I am up for Female Performer of the Year, so that's exciting. And I'm up for
That
Best
means to
Actress.
stabilize our
perspective.
neighborship,
And my showcase,
stabilize Africa
Angela White
together
Darkside,
with others. But
nominated for
Yeah,
Best
full
Star
Africa is one of
Showcase.
the major challenges.
I have some other themes.
And of course,
Perspective,
to,
though.
to,
That was
to make our
beautiful.
European values
Have fun. I mean,
as
I
attractive as
watched it.
possible in
It
the
looked
global
like, I mean, it was like, it was dark,
order
but it
is
was
the better line.
Thank you. It was both fun and disturbing, if that can make any sense.
そうでした
Yeah, Seth and I really had to go to a dark place for those
声を見せ
characters.
てね
So it was a great challenge, and it was wonderful for me to get the opportunity to grow.
これを見せんとね
Very
間違ってもここをやったら
The why best practices in
やったら
government have
bring out those
死ぬで。
faster amongst
辰巳亮太、吉田俊介ら、坂本大輝ら、お前ら根本一家、お前らに俺に最後通知やよ。
Why doesn't everybody copy?
上田慎一郎、お前らにも最後通知や。覚えとけ。どうなくここの傷つけたら死ぬぞ。
Everybody copied the way the Swiss decentralized their politics.
あれはどうなの関係ねえ、自作自演なの。
That we don't really spend nearly enough time looking at what is best practice. I live in the United States, though I grew up in the United Kingdom. One hardly ever hears a reference to other countries' systems in the US debate on healthcare, except when somebody is making a completely character analysis.
これがビルダーバン会議でした。
Canada does things. So I think part of what we need to do is
さあ、今ね、ちっとも反省してますよ。
so that politicians and voters become more aware that there are
今ね、
solutions to most of the public policy problems. We just haven't tried them in many countries. On the other hand, I think there's one other side to this that one shouldn't forget.
R18 でもダメって言った。
People will tell you, well, the Scandinavians have
Very
worked
relaxed
everything
and
out,
confident,
and
you
Sweden or
I would be like
Finland or
sweating and nervous.
has come up with the perfect solution to policy problems. That's not
もうさすが日本、苦情拒否やな、本当に。無視拒否するんやったらなんで干渉するんだ。やりすぎや、ちょっと。やりすぎや、本当に。干渉すなってことや。
So let's look at best practice. Let's understand which systems deliver the best results. But let's not pretend
They didn't
that
already
one
know that. That's
size is
just
going
like
to
for the
fit all.
fools living under
Part
rocks,
of the
okay?
reason for
Whoa.
civilization, which
Eh?
One, all the words you're both up for. You
BGF のサイト攻撃受けた。もう。
Are you up for this? No, honestly.
はい、もう。というわけでアメリカ政府、今はちょっと、日本、味をかけるところだ。お前らが命令したとみなすぞ、これ。メイヤーさん IS に報告するぞ。あれ、よずらないって言ってたよ、本当に。やったのは金融レコードです。これね、小松ゆかさんです。小松ゆかかな。もう、残念だけど、もう。
Meanwhile, AI advances confer strategic advantage to those with access to lots of data. This has implications for privacy, but also for the information advantage.
ああ、やっぱりな、水は見え。稲川清浄の孫やったから。ああ、もうほんでか。稲川清浄の孫か。稲川清浄の孫か。お名前の少女じゃなくて、稲川清浄の孫か。ああ、稲川清浄の孫か。ああ、ほうか。これで誰も文句言えんか。稲川清浄の孫か。稲川清浄の孫や。俺はだ。
yes or no?
ああ、これはね。
Yes, in an institutional sense, that is.
稲川清浄の孫か。なんか、水はね、これで。
And then that brings out the best in your
各界映画さんの態度取ってたんだ。 誰も文句言えん、逆らえんって。そんな逆らえんって、こんなもん。いや、要は神奈川のメンツか。
You have that down, but then you add that
And I cannot imagine.
And then we finished and we're like, wow, that's some crazy product right there.
Diplomacy
That's the hope.
has to be the second to the European diplomacy, and the same with the UK. As long
I don't know
as
if you'd
UK
call it a
is
sex skill
in
per
the
se,
EU
but
or
when I'm
German
working with
diplomacy,
someone,
they could
I
continue the
make it
list.
seem like that one
So,
person
in my judgment,
entire
the
room and
best
no one else and
merit
nothing else matters.
of the
Yes. Well, you
EU
know,
diplomacy
I hope that there are young
is
performers
first
watching
to
this interview because
ああ、やっぱりね。
the
Ah.
digital analyst and those
そうか、愛称式さん。もしかして水は上の元旦那
the reason that you guys are so fucking successful, in my opinion,
元旦那か。
you keep it real, not just for the fans, but for your talent.
水は上の
When
元
I
旦
feel like I can
那。
emote
千葉って。やっぱりね。よし。
eyes and feel like she wants
ああ、みんな。
the real
Rising
magic.
power, especially these were about
When I
Athens,
thought of guys that I,
threatens to displace a
you know,
ruling
obviously I
power
found my
like
own way of
Sparta,
doing things, but
or
I
the
look at
current
guys like
situation
an
arising in
ex-China
China
performer like Mark
threatens
Davis
to
or like
displace a
Manuel
ruling
Ferreira,
US.
and these
A
guys,
one
that's what
should
they
sound
did.
grave danger
So
ahead,
they were two of the most successful of
significant
all time.
likelihood of
So like,
war,
I'm doing my own version,
ええ。
trying to give
ああやっぱりなヒゲたちはめられたからなんで辻たち切れてたか俺を恨んでたんか俺で恨んでたんか俺で俺を恨んでたんかはい水はめよお前いい加減しろこれはいやっぱり急なまま連中共謀してたからよかったかそこは木之本も危なかったアウト林久美子さんが言ってたよ木之本は危ないから気をつけろこいつら急なままと共謀したテロリストだから気をつけろどこ行ったらいいの逆に言うと高槻は安全です安全やから逆にあの通常のいいやつあいつが急なままででしたそれでさそれなんで榎本の前でやったらさ我々遊びかけに来ましたちょっとセクシャルハラスメント彼こっそり延命しました延命しました
Expert at all of your jobs. That's what the industry is saying.
弁護士はもう一斉に
Nominated. Stop it. They don't just throw them around.
テーマ報告しました水は海側の密告しました
What if you won all of them and you're like, not only do I have
ああ水は海が共謀してたって発覚水は海が原因で俺いじめられてた 水は海が原因でさあいじめられてた発覚水は海刑事告訴するぞまだやるかこれサイバーテロ調子こくな本当にそういうわけでしたもうせよじゃあ何だった本当にいい加減しろ変な広告出るから踊るIFRI ですIFRI もあるんやけど IFRI もあるんやけどねお前ら FTM お前らのスポンサービルダーバーグやぞこれに逆らうとサイバーテロお前らこれすると組織解体に追い込まれるぞ組織解体に追い込まれるぞああなんで俺ああお前 FTM にやつあんたが切ってテロ行為を対策願うあんたが切ってどうするやろああそれでさあなんか日本テロ組織やったな
I think economic growth, the success or failure of it will be determined by the degree to which individual countries and regions can supply
the
jobs
sexy people are here.
for
Now they have
the
arrived and
emerging
like
middle classes of these countries, formerly poor countries. I
a
think
beautiful
what
face,
we're likely to see in
along
the
with
21st century
distracting
is
breasts, and of
many,
course,
many
male
people who are
performer
either
of the year,
liberated from
fucking
hard labor
extraordinaire Marcus
or for
Dupree,
whom there
are talking to us at the
there is
top.
too little
I'm honored.
hard labor to provide jobs. And what will these
I'm
people
sweating
do?
now. They're so high. Can
How
you
will
see
they
I'm like
be
getting red?
employed? And I
Alright,
think
so
that will be
what
a major
awards are you up
factor
for this?
contributing forward. Also, even though the world population is declining, we're still in an era of massive male youth bulges in about 20 or 30 countries. And there's going to be a lot of pressure to provide jobs for people, whether it's in China, in Yemen, it's in Ethiopia, or
So
wherever.
that's all of them. For all the things. So you can just say, Autumn is nominated for everything. And you, my friend? The what? 13 nominations. Are there more than 13 awards? I think you might have all of them except Female Performer of the Year.
Talk is
is
I was going for the giant condom look.
robotics
I
and
really wanted to promote
artificial
safe sex.
intelligence and the
Well,
upcoming
there's
industrial
nothing
revolution
safe about this because
are
it makes
a
me want to
threat
do
or an
very
opportunity
naughty
for the
things
world
to you.
and for manufacturing
You are pure
countries and
temptation,
also
like
for
incarnate right
developing
now.
countries.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
the
I am
answer
Trinaville.
is
We are with
still
Adult
unknown,
Empire,
but
and
what
with
is
whom do
sure
we have the
now
pleasure of
is
speaking?
that we have to
Vanna
invest
Bardo.
in the main assets
Vanna
that
Bardo
are
in
characterizing
latex.
the
And what are
industrial
you up for
revolution,
this
the
year,
digital
Vincent?
transformation,
I am up for Best Starlet,
competences,
Best Sexy, and Best
infrastructures, data centers,
And
and
since your
all
name
the
is Vanna,
tools
will you
that
give
are
me just one, like, Vanna
fundamental
White
and
move?
are considered enabling technologies for the
could be
future
that Vanna
digital
too.
transformation.
Move over
I also
all
presented
Vannas of
the
the world.
differences
This
between
Vanna.
the US, Europe, and
Now, my love,
China,
if you
how
could
they
have
are integrating
one
artificial
portal-related
intelligence
superpower,
into
what would it be?
different
It could be any.
knowledge
There are no
and
physics do not
competences
apply
and
to this game. I would wanna have
scientific
the
results.
ability
For
to
example,
get
in the
into any
US,
position
they are
possible.
investing very
Like
much
any,
in
like,
developing
be a
artificial
pretzel and
intelligence
just
for
be
humanities,
put into crazy ass
while in China
like a
they are
contortionist.
investing
You
in
walk onto
developing
set and there's a
artificial
small
intelligence
box,
for
right?
agriculture
You don't know what's
application, for
happening.
producing
The
food,
box
for
opens.
example. So
Boom, bam.
globalization
So I am
has
Trinaville. We are with
obtained
Adult
some
Empire.
results in
And who
terms
are you,
of
my beautiful
being
little
socially
dog?
connected, but in terms of geopolitics, we still see many
know you.
differences in
Now,
also in how the digital
what
transformation
wars are you
is
up for
implemented
this
in the society. Then I spoke about robotics and how the journey of robotics is coming into us.
シンガポール
Because
人ですよ
robotics
group of
was
people
developed
fucking,
for
group
manufacturing
scene, sex scene,
countries for
orgy,
industrial
gang. Call
production.
it what you want.
And
Ah,
robots
go
are
ahead.
in manufacturing plants, but
She can call it
in
anything
recent
she wants 'cause
years
she's
what
doing the
we have
motherfucking
seen
award.
is the development of
Yeah,
service
wow.
robotics, which is intended to
Alright,
support
first of all, you look
services
amazing.
and
This
they
is
offer
both
services in
adorable and
terms of
sexy.
medical
Somehow
robotics,
together
social
you
robotics,
imagine
educational
like managed
robotics.
to
And
look
now
like a
what is
cute,
happening
perfect
is
little
that
lady
robotics
and a
is
sex
coming
goddess at the
into
same time.
our
How do you do
houses
it?
by producing some consumer products and also producing changes
me home
in the
tonight.
society in terms
You heard it here first.
of supporting autonomous drive
Alright, so
or different products that are revolutionizing business and revolutionizing our lives.
Everything. Like, I'm joking, but I'm also not joking.
The ones that I have memorized.
What are your favorite ones?
My favorite ones are Best Star Showcase. That's
Or the one that was in fucking Times Square? Shut the front fucking door.
yeah, that one.
ああこれが
Yeah, no, I love
取り
it.
当てられる
The
コミッ
I
シ
Am
ョン
Riley
で
movie
す
is amazing. I'm very proud of that.
Oh, I know.
この方がニュージーランドの元首相ですさ
eradicating poverty,
And then there's two
eradicating
scenes
hunger,
from my website that I
Arlen
helped
さんだよね
direct.
元
And
secondary education.
that's a
Senpai
Boy
です
Girl Girl with Marcus Dupree and
And
Izzy
that
Lush.
means
And
not just a few people
I
left
know,
behind,
I
it means literally
We
Hi,
have such a
こちらも
very
PIA
good friend of mine.
out.
So I was
Hi,
very
こ
happy
ちら
to
もア
have
メリカ
her.
ン
And
政
then
府
I
ア
have
ル
the best group scene
関係会
also with Izzy Lush.
こちらでシンガポールです
I don't know.
いい子がいいさんの画像ですさ
I literally looked
あ
her
そ
only
こがいい
twice for my
ビルア
website
バン
and
会議
also
作ってました
she's not nominated for any
シンガポール主体で ASEAN 加盟国
International
を優先に参加認めてるベトナムも
I
ラオ
have
ス
other scenes on my website.
カンボジアも参加認めてます今はね
They are not the only
もう
ones.
参加認めてるんやまあ
a right knowledge privilege. We have a lot to do.
参加認めてますさあ
Development of systems
Fucking God, Adriano!
for the lowest
What the?
income
はい
countries.
これがアフリカ
I'm getting emotional over your dress.
So that their
This
growth is
is
inclusive and
fucking
sustainable is critical.
stunning.
There are
Can you
solutions.
turn in this? Can I
What's
see
needed is
everything?
the political will
Oh my
to
God! I mean,
activate
clearly this is
those
custom.
So my friend Christian made it. He actually used to run Gunner's World. So if you remember that, and I hired him. I found him on Etsy, and I
There
was
are
like,
more than
hey,
7
would you
billion
please
people
make
in the
me a
world
dress?
that
I'm a
are
porn girl, so
forcibly displaced
hopefully you
from
want to
their
make
homes,
that for me.
either as refugees crossing borders or displaced in their own country because of
I'm very
war,
thankful for him.
violence, discrimination, persecution, bad governance. Why is that?
This is the dress
The
of the
world has
night.
become
Like if anyone
a
says it isn't,
difficult
they're
place
fucking
where
lying.
to make
Thank you.
peace.
It's very
We have
heavy.
become
Is
unable
it heavy? Is
to
it?
make
Is it
peace
metal? Can I
and to
touch it a
build
little?
peace.
So that's the first thing that we
Okay,
need to look
varnish.
at
I'm like,
if we want to reduce this global refugee
no, I would
crisis.
never. I would never. It looks way too delicate. I'm like, is it metal? Is it? Yeah.
85% of those 70 million people are not
Squat during the
in the
award
rich
show.
world.
Even
They are in poor countries
yeah.
or middle
Have an
income
after party.
countries. So the effort, and the new effort, not just humanitarian, but medium, long-term effort, founded on sound development, both for refugees and for host communities,
about someone's
has to
dress as much as
focus
yours,
on
but
those
like you rolled
countries.
in with
We
that,
have
and
now
that's
a global
awesome.
compact
So
on refugees. We
probably
will
one
have
of
the
the
first ever
So what your fans
global
want to know is
refugee forum in December this
okay,
year
so I have
in
11
Geneva.
dogs.
These are opportunity to rally broader coalitions of actors, not just states and the United Nations, but also the private sector, the business community, civil society, academia, to forge new ways to respond to the global refugee crisis and to finally address strategically its root causes.
My bank account tapped me with bills.
Yes, you got time. And then I did a tease for Vixen and Tushy. So I would really love to win Best Tease because I had to walk down like really small stairs and Louboutins. And then
The
there was,
question
like,
that
10
you're
guys,
raising
some
will
of them were belly
Syria
dancers, and they
find
were like,
a
I
long-lasting
saw.
peace?
And
Well, the
Greg's like,
Syrian people
sing
deserve
louder.
a
I'm like, I can't
long-lasting
sing.
peace.
Oh, you were
Think
actually
about it.
singing
They've
that?
been
Just
8 years now in a
I
horrible
not
conflict which
real. It was
became
really my
from
voice.
local,
I'm not that cool.
regional, and frankly
You
international.
got to sing a little
So
in the
the
rehearsal
answer
so
is
that
Yes.
it must be yes.
Yes,
Now,
yeah.
how
I
to
saw
do
that.
it is where the challenge is coming. And the only way to do it is actually to end the military conflict. Because
your
there
big
is
showcase
no
for this.
solution. It's not just a word,
Johnny
it's the
Darko.
truth. There will never be just a military solution. And include everyone.
Have you ever done a
New
movie that
constitution,
wasn't super
elections under the UN
One
supervision.
time, and actually,
That
like,
would be a
fans
way to
complained.
include them.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry to the director, but they fucked up. You're like, I was like, I'm loving it. They had a scene where I just spit the cum out. I'm like, people were like, what is this? Like, what? Yeah.
Did they have a heart attack?
I
Well,
got
I'm
a heart attack
delighted
when they
to,
told me how to spit the cum out.
be
I
able
was like,
tonight
I
to
would never play a
address
character like this.
members
Like,
of
you
the
get to suck it back
Trilaterals
up.
and their guests.
No.
And,
Like,
I think my focus will be
like,
tonight
ew,
on
I'm
three
grossed out
things.
and
One
walk
is
away. Yeah, it
that
was insane. It was the weirdest
multilateralism has
That's
been
the most
the
ridiculous thing I've ever
the
heard.
bread and butter of many of us, certainly at the IMF, and we believe that it has been critical in order to address many of the potential disorders of the world. Multilateralism is under threat at the moment, and I think that we have to make every effort to rejuvenate it, adapt it, and make sure that it continues to help govern, particularly the economic
Yes, we're
developments
just gonna
around
look
the world.
at it
That's
and
message
be
number one.
jelly,
My second
jelly,
message will have to
jelly.
do with the much more longer term
She is strong.
consequences
She
of
is
short-term
All right.
policies
So what do we have
and,
here? I'm gonna look at it
mechanisms,
with
and
my
that is
eyes.
really the consequences of
ABN
climate change.
Hall of
I
Fame
believe that many of the
video
issues that we're
branch.
debating at the moment
Sunny
will mean absolutely nothing in 20 years' time if we have not acted now.
I imagine, are you
in order to
nominated?
make sure that
This
the planet
in itself
remains
is
something that
the
is
achievement that
hospitable
I hope to
for
get
our children
someday.
and grandchildren.
Are you nominated for
My
anything
third
else
message,
in this
which
lovely
will not
award
surprise
season?
any of those who
Yes,
know me
I love
or my
emergency.
friends, will have to do with inequality, and in particular the
That's
inequality
awesome.
that women have to suffer and have had to suffer for a long time. And while inequality as such is a major disruption, I believe that by addressing women's situation and the inequality that they face, it will help quite a way in reducing inequalities.
Now,
So,
is
we'll
there
try to do that
a
tonight.
year cap where you start being eligible for home?
Yes, 10 years.
10 years, and now you're at 15 and you finally snatched it.
I wasn't even thinking about it.
She's like, I'm just amazing. Wasn't thinking about it, it just came to me.
True.
We're
That is
living
fact.
through an era of rapid and disruptive change.
I'm just like, wow.
That's
okay.
across the
Thank
board.
you for
Economy,
giving me the
society.
surcharge that's
And
plugged
what
into
we're
my body
seeing
now.
is that nowhere is that disruption more evident than the trends associated with climate change. We're all familiar with the extreme events, the temperature rises, and the inexorable change that
Now
we're
I'm
seeing,
vibrating a little.
to the
Now
planet's
maybe in a
ecology
few
as a
years
result of
I'll be
climate
able to
change.
win that award too.
But
Yes.
a major part of that
Like in
discussion is
proximity
how
to it, maybe
does
it'll like
energy
walk
transition
in my direction.
and decarbonization of our energy system, which accounts for about 2/3 of carbon emissions, how will that impact climate change, and can we enter an energy transition era rapidly enough to mitigate carbon that will take us to a safe future? This is already happening. Renewable energy today is cost competitive on the grid. In a few years, renewable energy disruptive for the business models of today. It's going to imply new geostrategic relationships among countries as countries move away from resource-dependent fossil fuel-based systems to clean energy systems, and resource is going to become technology, and technology innovation is going to decide the winners and losers of this race.
Okay, we're getting serious here. I'm Shreedaville. This is Adult Empire. Introduce yourself.
My name is Scarlett.
The low carbon economy should come because to
これ
avoid
田
the
中桃
climate
さんの声
change,
です
serious, I would say, effort is necessary. Many of the governments are trying the new technologies, new regulations, new rules to move to that direction. But the IEM, the National Energy Agency, assessed the current effort is not enough. We need a much more effort to introduce new technologies about renewables or carbon-related technologies, efficiency in a difficult sector, in the industry, and new regulations. So we need really double or triple our effort to make it happen. One of the areas which IEA focused on is hydrogen. Hydrogen can be used to store the electricity generated by wind or solar, which is very volatile, and storage is the key element. So battery may not necessarily be enough, so hydrogen can be used. And also hydrogen can be used for steel, cement, some of the industries where the decarbonization is very difficult. So that's another area. The third one will be the hydrogen could be the new transformation for the sectors of the oil or gas producing country. If they can remove carbon dioxide from oil or gas or coal, then these hydrocarbons change into the very friendly, climate-friendly resources. So this may prevent the hydrocarbon as a stranded asset. So maybe the hydrogen is one of the key area. We need lots of infrastructure building, technologies are necessary, but hydrogen may give us a good chance to achieve the sustainable future.
So it's gonna go from like drip to like fire hydrant, Yes. Yeah, so you could blast away the competition or just
The challenge
do a
of
little
dealing
shower.
with
Would you
disinformation
use your power for good or evil?
is that it's not enough just to check the
Would.
facts.
She would. I know her.
Because
She's
by
a good
definition,
girl.
any disinformation narrative doesn't have good facts. They make
Be
them up,
gone!
but they're actually lies.
Be a
This is
squirt!
why it's disinformation. So the challenge with disinformation actors is that the thing they have in common is they're
This
really
is
good
shenanigans because I
storytellers.
do not
They,
take my
they tell a story that people want to believe. A lot of the time they will appeal to anger, they'll appeal to fear, they'll appeal to hatred, and they will try and stop people thinking. They'll try and get people so enraged they switch off their critical faculty. That means that for those of us who are trying to challenge these narratives on a daily basis, it's a much more complex challenge than just presenting the facts. You have to have the ability to tell the story, and you have to find an emotion to appeal to, which will actually get people to think. Now, fortunately, there is a model of story which works. If you think of the detective story,
Rain check?
that's a story where you're putting together evidence and you're telling people this is what happened.
So
This is
I am Shreedaville.
and it appeals to a different sort of emotion.
Empire, and I am here with stunning like mermaids. Yana.
And so a lot of the challenge of dealing with disinformation is presenting the story of how the disinformation
My
was
new
created,
mandate for the rest
how
of the
was
night
the
is
trick
that
done,
you are no
and you
more
can
than
lead
3 feet
people
away
on
from
the
me at all
story,
times.
and you can show
You
them
can add to my
this
fierceness.
person is telling you that here is a video of somebody attacking a voter at a polling station yesterday, but actually look, this video showed up on CNN 4 years ago in a different context. You can share that voyage of discovery with the person you're talking with,
That's
and then
huge. Don't
they
downplay
will
it, my
realise
lovely
how
little
the
thing.
trick was
That's
done,
huge.
but it will
I'm
also
excited
sensitize
for
them
you.
that the next time
Because you know when
around
you get the same
they'll be looking for that same trick. If you teach people very simple skills like searching for a photo online or searching for a video online, you can actually make them proof against that kind of reused content and repackaged content, not just today, but every time this kind of thing comes up. And so really deal with this information, you have to have the facts. But you have to teach the skills as well. You have to give people the ability to solve the problems for themselves, because then you'll be appealing to their curiosity, you'll be appealing to their problem-solving senses, and you'll be appealing to their sense of pride in actually exposing the story in the first place. And those are the kind of emotions which will then counter the anger, the fear, and the hatred that disinformation actors try to target.
And with whom do we have the pleasure of speaking?
Violet doll.
The Violet fucking doll. I know who you are. I social media stalk you secretly. Although it's not as much of a secret when I say it out loud on film.
Cities are one of the greatest innovations of all times, and what's interesting right now is that urbanization is, alongside with digitalization,
You guys have not, like, you look like
very, very strong
sweet
economic
and innocent,
force
like
and
a
force
living
for
Barbie doll, but
innovation.
she is the
As
best,
more and more
fiercest
people
fucking
move
doll.
into cities and metro areas.
It must be. You're like, don't worry, I won't hurt you.
Urban areas were important
And then they come to you
during
and
the
you're like,
industrial era, but they are increasingly important in a knowledge-based economy. And what's interesting, especially for a person like me who comes from a small city like Stockholm,
what is your favorite?
there
There's
seems to be room
is
for
a huge and versatile
cities
market.
outside the megacities as well. There are some really
like if you could
interesting
only work with one type of sub for
drivers
the rest
of
of your career, what would
innovation
it be?
that are smaller or mid-sized cities, amongst which Stockholm is actually one, but there are a number of examples.
So, very
and
obedient,
what is
and
important
you must
if
be
a
able to
city
have your
wants to
balls
become
bust. Are we
a
talking squeezing,
outlier
kicking?
or a
What's
hub
your
for innovation is collaboration. If you look
so
at
if you can't
urban
take that,
innovation especially,
do not even slide into her
you
DMs
need
unless
to
you have like the biggest
strong
tribute ever.
public-private partnership. The mayor needs to gather
Or like
people from
like you're
private
gonna pay
sector,
to
from
play
academia
because
and
it is
other
a
stakeholders
honor
around the
to
table
have
and work
their
together to
balls
solve
kicked by you.
problems.
Come get your
And
balls
I think
busted
we
by the
see
bus.
that to a quite large extent
It's like only
right now,
thousands of dollars
and I hope
and
we'll
it's
see
hella
more
worth
of it going forward.
That's like a good fucking price.
Right, I mean, it's kind of like charity work, honestly.
You know what it is? It is a certain type of charity. You are doing humankind a service.
Yeah, and the men are learning a lot from it. They need this.
Hopefully they're learning a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like you have a long way to go.
I have to
Yeah,
say,
they really do. It
global
takes
meeting
years before I can
with
beat them into where I want them.
North American,
Thank you for your service to
Asian
mankind.
Pacific and European members of the
I
Trilateral,
am Shreedeville. We
was
are here with the Salt Empire. And for
multidimensional,
the people who have been living literally under a rock,
in the great tradition of the
Living under a
Trilateral
rock like
Commission,
Patrick Star,
by
I'm Doja Cat, and I rap
I
and I
would say,
sing.
experiences
I'm
of the members, by
incredibly
the
excited that you were at the
sensitivities
AVN
of the
Awards.
members.
Are you
by
excited to be
the
here?
was,
I watch porn, so I'm
of course,
excited.
non-partisan,
Do you have a favorite porn performer, male or female?
I have
meeting.
favorites. I
Also
don't have one
because
favorite,
the
but
issues
Skin
that we
Diamond
addressed
and
were
Missy
very,
So,
very
and I just met her just now, and I'm trying to act
in all respect, we addressed issues that
When
were
I know
of a
Missy a little bit, but I know
geostrategic
Skin
nature,
Diamond pretty
issues
well.
that were
And
of
whenever I
economic
walk around
nature,
with her,
profoundly
like
economic
nobody
nature,
fucking
issues that
recognizes
were,
me, but everyone, like
related
people
to
come up to
environmental
her like
issues
crazy. She's
and
a legend,
difficulties
like
and challenges.
beautiful, but like her
And we
performances
addressed
are
also
insane.
this particular
Have you ever met her in real life?
challenges for our societies that populism, so-called populism represent, which is also a largely multi-dimensional issue. So I think it was really Trilateral at its best, and also it was the occasion to confirm some dimensions and orientations of the Trilateral and to make new
I admire her
experience
style
to
very much.
reinforce in a number of domains
So other than
of,
those two, if you
I
could
would say,
have,
franchise
if you were
as
ever
the
going to be in a
Trilateral
porno,
Commission.
what would your
First, let me
fantasy
mention
cast
that
be?
the
It doesn't have to be
Trilateral
pornography.
is called Trilateral because there is not only the new hemisphere, the US, Mexico, Canada, but also Europe and also Asia.
And SpongeBob
And
SquarePants.
of course, the whole of Asia at
Now,
the
would it be
global
like a
level is
DP,
more and more
or what would
important.
they be doing?
As
It would
regards
be-
new
it would be
dimensions for
like-
the Trilateral
Yeah,
Commission,
just a DP.
not only we
That's
confirm
so. If
our own
I was
values,
SpongeBob's agent, I would
democratic
be calling it right now for
values,
you.
rule of law, human rights, and all what goes with a democratic society. We also confirmed our values as regards multilateralism, international cooperation, in the best sense of the term.
やっぱり気に入ってるって言ったトリンゲール来た。はい、トリンゲールです。ここ見せるわ。今日はもうオランダ派でした。オランダの支持者。オランダの支持者です。じゃないって、オランダの支持者でした。
You guys are too hot to walk together. You're gonna burn someone. It's like the heat is coming. Burn me. Oh my! If actually, like I'm getting like if I had the both of you in a scene, I wouldn't live through it. But like in the best way, like these two. Okay, wait, just do it. Yeah. How can I forget when your fist is in my asshole? Do you know how nervous I was that day to work with you? You're fucking legend. I'm like, Phoenix is gonna put her fist in my ass. I hope my ass is ready.
It was ready, just so you know.
But I was
We're not
worried.
sure yet. And I'm like, just keep going. One finger, two finger, and then she fits in my ass. She's like, it's mine. Whoa, shit, I lost my arm. I had a watch, okay? It's still ticking.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. My colon keeps perfect time. It was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
まあ一言言ったら別にアメリカ
Sorry you
の
don't
政
have
府
it anymore, but like
以外に
it's
あ
in
り
there.
ま
It's
すか
like,
ら
have you ever seen
ね。
Peter Pan?
日本の
The
皆さ
alligator?
ん、も
That's
し
me, but with
JII
Yes.
参加していたら
Also, a lot of my
相当
spit
覚悟
and
して
everything
ね。
else.
I am the
it's like it's in
new
my
chair of the North
Yes,
American
couldn't
group of
lose
the
the nail.
恐ろ
Trilateral
しいほど
Commission.
守秘義
I
務課せ
wanted
ら
to
れる
take。this
that's true.
opportunity
You're
to say
very
a few words
respectful in
about
that
the
way.
厳しい
Commission
ですよ。
and about our future.
そういうの
As
測
we
定
know,
秘通
the
法は個人
Trilateral
情
Commission
報保護以
is
上
a
に
storied
厳しいですよ。
institution and organization
Right now.
公民サチンさんが
years of
死にま
history.
す。
History of
死に
having
ま
an
すよ。
impact on
I'm
big
gonna
ideas,
nominate
on
you right
bringing
now.
people together
Female
across
Performer of
different
the Year,
sectors and across
Best
3
Anal,
different
Best
geographies,
System,
that of North
Best
America,
Best girl,
Europe,
hottest
and
bitch,
Asia.
best milk.
But we
So
are
you're
on
talking
the
about
cusp of a new chapter, one that builds
No,
on that
just her
history,
too, just so we
but
all
really
clarify.
reorients ourselves and puts
I
us in a
know.
position to make an impact in a very, very different world. And the reason why I have such confidence that the Commission can remake itself is because there is a need, and the Commission is well suited to meet that need.
I
And
know.
that need is
But
quite
can I just,
simply
like,
that
pause
in this
on the
day and
anal
age,
thing?
in these
Because your dick
political
was made.
landscapes, the need is simply for more organizations, more individuals, more entities to take
So
up
when
the
you see it,
mantle
you're
of
like, that is not
defending
gonna fit.
a
That's not
rules-based
gonna
order,
fit in there, but,
an
like,
order
I
that
don't- it's magical.
values and is
Your
committed
butt
to
is
democratic
the butt, or your
principles,
dick is the butt
ideas
with-
like free trade and human rights. And we also have a need for more ideas,
Yeah, like,
more
my
ideas
scenes
to
with
help
him
us
are not the
tackle
same
new
as my scenes with
challenges,
other
or
people,
certainly
so that is
challenges that are new to this generation. And there are many reasons why I
made
think
me
the
squirt.
Trilateral
I
Organization
don't
is so well poised
squirt.
to meet this need.
And yet
First and
somehow,
foremost,
I
we are an organization that at its heart is a community of countries that share a common set
different
of
connection
values,
that I'm not
that
aware
share
of.
these
I do with
commitments to
him.
these ideas about democracy, about free markets, about the rule of law. And secondly, we have a membership that spans
You didn't invite me,
policy,
but it's-
business,
You
and
know what my room
academia
number is,
and
don't
media.
play.
And that allows us to bring minds
Alright,
together
well,
and experience
I'm going to
to
give
bear
you all
on
of your
problems
work
that are no longer just the purview of one of those sectors.
And-
The things
and
that
then
need to
take
be
your
thought
word
about
and put
today
it in
and
my
where
ass
we
with
need
your
new
hand.
solutions and prescriptions
God,
are
put
ones
it in
that
my
are the
asshole.
intersection of business and policy. Whether it is the contributions
It was a
that
sharp
private
war,
sector
that's all I have to say.
organizations can make to
Yeah,
combating
you
climate
don't do
change,
it with all of
whether
them, but
it
like
is
the AV
figuring
AV
out
one's pretty
the
sweet.
ideas that will drive
They
the
used to be
reform
very
of
sharp back in the
capitalism,
day, just throwing
or
out
whether
there,
it
not like
is
I would know about it.
understanding the
Yeah, it
impact of
wasn't in your ass,
technology on
was
our
it?
systems.
Sorry,
All
what?
of these
What?
things
What?
need
What?
business,
I
government,
mean,
and others at the table to help with. Now, of course, to realize this potential for the Trilateral Organization to meet this need, we are going to have to do some things differently than we have in the past. First and foremost, we are going to have to recognize, as a group primarily of democracies, we need to spend some time looking at ourselves, looking internally, saying what's happening with our own institutions, what is the health of our own institutions, and how is that situation affecting our ability to cooperate across national lines and deliver global
Tell me about your
problems to
nomination.
pressing global solutions. So we're spending more time talking about things like populism and the impact of technology on our own society.
You're so wonderful.
Secondly, we've got to think about impact differently. Traditionally, we're an organization that has had impact based on the very nature of our
Special because then you know
we're an organization
it's
of
of course
people
lovely to
with
have the
close
critics
ties
like
to
you,
national
but what are we
governments,
without
and
our
often the
fans,
ideas
right?
that we debate in private inform our own perspectives and inform our discussions and deliberations and conversations with people in positions of power. That will still be true, but today we need to think about having an impact on the broader debate. We no longer live in a world where governments are the only ones that can influence the future. In fact, increasingly, we have to think about other entities as being the real engines of change, and be that corporations or universities or even individuals. We need to think about how to shape the conversation, how to bring those groups in to have investment
you'd be like the
and
female
commitment to
Rocco
solutions.
Siffredi.
And we need to
You'd be
move
like
ahead
giving it
whether
to
or not we're
everyone,
able to get our
superpower
governments to
performer,
agree
giving,
with our
taking,
prescriptions
doing it
and
all.
recommendations. So in short, it's a really exciting time to be part of the Trilateral Commission. I'm deeply honored to be the chair of the North America Group, and I look forward to working with all our members and my colleagues from other regions to realize this vision. Thank you.
Insane and doesn't know who you are. I thought you were gonna say a fake name for a second. That mischief. I saw there was like a mischief in his eyes. I'm like this guy right now.
I wasn't quick enough, so.
So I'm Jane
So
Harmon, and the
I'm sure
question
you're up
is,
for
what is
a
the future
multitude of
of
awards.
political
What are some of your
parties?
favorites?
I can speak to the U.S. more than anywhere else. I was a member of our Congress for 9 terms and left because it became so partisan and dysfunctional. At the Wilson Center, we study this, and there are some remedies to the problems, but bottom line, in the U.S., our tradition is 2 parties only. In Europe, there are multi-party systems in most countries, and we're seeing the rise of populist parties.
But now she's
In the
contracted
U.S., we have no
just with
populist
you
party.
guys.
We have a Republican Party that is now dominated by our
Stunning.
president,
I mean,
and we have a
she's stunning,
Democratic
but
Party where
your
most
directing
of
is
the
stunning, your
noise
videography
is
is
coming
stunning.
from the far
The
left.
movies
What
are
we don't
both
have
beautiful and
is
sexual,
anything
but
to
also
represent the
emotional.
center, and that is the challenge for the U.S. going forward. That is something I work on, and that is something that the Wilson Center is hoping to improve, because if we are to convey at least a majority view in the United States, essential to make foreign policy and domestic policy effective, we need to reach for the center so that we have both parties participate. And hopefully we'll advance that goal here at the Trilateral Commission.
That's some titties in that scene.
A lot of titties, right?
We got Gabby Carter in another scene.
Yeah, there was a lot of titties.
That's absolutely amazing, you guys.
The political processes of countries has
He's got the big
always to
smile.
intermediate the demands
Movies, it was so good.
to organize the process of political competition, to
You're like,
mobilize the
what are
population
who are the
for
hottest
access
women
to
in
power.
porn? Let's give them to my
First
viewers.
objective
There was only one film, movies
badly eroded
What?
by technology, by the
Like,
social
these
media,
are fake
because
movies.
people
The
have
movies you
direct
had are like
access
real.
politicians to society in general, to
You
demand
heard it here first.
demands directly.
Movies are movies.
We don't discriminate the movies.
Thank you.
However, nothing
Free
has
the
replaced
nipple.
the
Well, I hope
means
you guys
to
win,
access to power.
especially your
And
whole
the
like
problem that societies
gets
in
multiple
the world all
awards.
over
You guys
are
deserve it.
facing these
I
days
feel like you're really
have to do
doing
essentially
something
with the
different
fact
in porn. I know
that
people always use that; it
governments
becomes
have
a little
been
bit
unable
trite,
to
but
perform well. So I believe that the real problem is not
well, good luck.
political
I hope you win a whole
parties,
bunch of stuff.
but the lack of ability of governments
Adult
to
Empire
deliver
loves you.
in poor conditions.
Can
Governments
I
have been
steal
unable to
you,
deliver
you
for very obvious
emerald
reasons. First of all,
goddess,
because it's
you?
much more difficult to
Oh
govern
my
in the
goodness.
era
I'm
of
nervous. Now I'm a
information.
little bit fangirling now.
Because governments
So
no longer
I'm
have control
Shreedaville.
of the
This
sources
is
of
Adult
information
Empire, and
because they compete for information and for communications
Okay,
with
my
the
name is
people in
Maitland
general.
Ward.
So the real
yes.
problem is
If
not
you don't know who
political
she is,
parties.
Google
The real
this
problem
bitch
is
because
that
oh
societies in the
my
world are lacking
goodness, yes.
legitimacy. It's interesting to watch that there are a few governments in the world that know how to govern and have succeeded in
Girl, aren't you? And you're relatively new to the scene, but just from me being in this little porno bubble for 9 years, you've blown up at an insane rate. Like, you've gone from new to A-list, and it's like she's the Ferrari of porn, like 0 to 100.
That's not something easy to accomplish. It'll take a dramatic effort of leadership, but not necessarily from politicians. It will take an enormous effort of society and the people to be able to create new forms of participation within which the political parties will be always being important. The political parties, however, are fragmenting, are responding to the issue, the reality of fragmentation of societies, and they are not likely to be the ones to lead this process. One ought to look only at the election in the United Kingdom a few weeks ago to realize that this is likely what is likely to happen. There, the Brexit party, which is not looking for power, it's just looking for an issue, was the one who succeeded. So the citizens around the world are going to have to be much more responsible in creating conditions for accessing power and for making it possible for stability and legitimacy to be accomplished.
But I had been working my way up with baby steps to, like, in my mind, because sexual performance is not just being a sexual person, as you obviously are, but you,
The best
I don't know
way
if it's
for
your background in
companies
acting
to
or
serve
your
the
camera awareness,
digital
but
revolution
you seem to have, like,
is to
almost
build
skipped
trust
steps in that
with their
regard. Like,
customers
I would
and to
not
build
watch your
trust
performances
with
and
their
think that you had been
employees.
in less than
One of the ways in
You
which
really,
companies
you know,
can do that
and
is to
of course, I
have
think
frank
everyone expects you to
conversations
be an amazing
with the
actress,
workforce,
but you
to
really
sit down
do
with
bring
workers and their
something
unions
special to your
and
role
to
in
say,
this
look,
work,
here's the
because
challenges
I've always said
that we're
even into
facing,
the
but
gods of
importantly to
characters,
ask them,
there
how
isn't
do we best get there? Because all too often, a lot of those solutions that a company can put in place that will make a real difference, the employees know the answer to that.
try to, like, copy certain techniques from other people, and I don't. Absolutely, I do not. I have always said that I'm just going to be my authentic self, and this is who I am. I think it does help with the camera angles and stuff, just because I know that stuff. Right. So that does actually help in that.
Multilateralism
totally.
is
But I just
not only the best, in many cases the only way in which you can deal with global issues, because we're dealing with global challenges and therefore you need global solutions, you need multilateral solutions. They take a little longer, yes, of course, but once you get it, then they will stick around for longer, and you will get greater ownership, and therefore you will tend to have more effective solutions.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I read the script and I was like,
of course,
anything I've seen in porn.
unilateralism is always about who is stronger in a bilateral relationship.
There's a place for everything, but we can do better. And I feel like projects like that are showing the world that pornography
all
is
the
more maybe
opinions
than what
count.
the stereotype.
Of course, you always have the bigger countries speak louder, but the differences are less, and also the needs of the smaller countries, the needs of the developing countries, the needs of the groups in a society that
I actually
are
never
left
thought
behind,
about it from that perspective.
then they are much better addressed by a multilateral approach. So yes, today we need multilateral more than ever before.
And I think it could be true for, like, doing like a series too. I think that's what you're doing. Yeah, I hope so. I didn't know it was possible this fast. I mean, I'm so happy that it is, because I feel like the work that you're doing helps all of us, if that makes sense. I really hope so. I've had some,
So we had a marvelous meeting in Stockholm. We could address all the issues that are very important for the European and also at the global level. It was marvelously organized
Thank you for this
by
interview.
the
I know that
host
everyone at Adult Empire loves
the
Adult
Swedish
Empire. You've been
chapter,
amazing to me,
and we
had
appreciated
such
enormously
amazing success
their
with everything.
organization.
Thank you. I hope you
were
fucking
very,
clean
very
up.
stimulating.
To drop the F-bomb
interesting.
at the AVN Awards, I think you're amazing.
Provisional conclusion are coming from this meeting, including the fact that the European wants to be more assertive perhaps than they were before in many domains, including the
keep encroaching on everybody because you're fucking hot.
You want to be close to us?
industry and research
I'm trying to jump the rope.
services at a global level. This
You're an
idea that
incredible
Europe
fucking woman.
as a whole
You know that?
You're an
should
incredible
be
fuck and
again
a fucking
more
woman.
present
Thank you.
in the
You too.
global
I'm looking
conversation.
at your eyes,
came
but I'm
very much out
actually
of this
remembering
meeting,
that last thing we
which
did
was
together.
again
Yeah, I'm
very
thinking about
comprehensive
stuffing
and
panties into
stimulating.
your
But
pussy.
you will see that
You
in the
grind on me.
various
You have so much
video
energy.
perhaps that you would like to see. Now I have to give you a new rendezvous. We have rendezvous in
So,
Washington
what awards?
because
I
it
wish
would
it's like,
be
what awards you not up for?
Trilateral,
What awards you
another
up
of
for?
the three
I'm not up for male
pillars of the
performer.
Trilateral,
should
the entire world.
I bet she can wield the strap better.
This is a Washington meeting which
But I am up for
take
female
place
performer, so
in
that's exciting.
March
And
13 to
I'm up for
15.
best actor
And so there we are
Am I
with a
showcased?
big rendezvous
Angela
which
White
will be
Dockside,
important
nominated for
and
Best
where
Style
we
Showcase.
could discuss the
have some
global
other
issues
scenes from that
in the tradition of the
Perspective,
Trilateral
though,
with
that
the vision
was
of an open world,
Beautiful.
free world,
Have fun. I mean,
a world
I
which is
watched it.
taking
It looked like, I mean, it was like,
of
it was
science,
dark,
technology,
but it was.
and the new
Thank you. It
wave
was both
of
fun and disturbing, if
innovation,
that can make any
and
sense.
also
Yeah,
respect
Seth and I really had to go to a dog play
citizens
for
is
those
attached to
characters.
democracy,
So it was
is
a
attached
great challenge,
to
and it was wonderful for me to get the
equality
opportunity to grow as an
produced
actor.
by
So I'm very
the
grateful to
working
Green
of a
Hills for
market
allowing
economy,
me
a
to do
vivid
that
market
this
economy.
And her
So,
scripts are
à bientôt.
amazing too, which helps really bring out those emotions.
Yeah, and the great thing about Perspective was I was able to play two totally different characters. So that was another challenge, but really exciting.
A massive challenge, but like, at least in my opinion, crushed it.
Thank you.
We have just concluded the meeting here in Stockholm of the European section of the Trilateral Commission. I think it's been a great meeting.
Now you're
I
gonna
think
make me
we've been able to have a dialogue on a lot of the issues that are of concern to all of us. Where are we going on the climate issues? How is the digital transformation going? What is the security really going to look like in the digital world? Where is Russia heading? What are the Americans up to? What will be the consequences of Brexit? So virtually all of the issues that are topical concern to us
Can I
Europeans at the moment
steal you,
have
you
been on the agenda
emerald
in these
goddess,
particular 2 days
you?
in Stockholm.
Oh
And then
my
I think we
goodness.
have also been
I'm
enjoying
now I'm a little
the
bit
company
fangirling now.
of this,
So I'm
very
Sheree
diverse
DeVille.
and very
This is
interesting
Adult Empire, and
increasingly young group that is the Trilateral
My name
Commission
is
Europe.
Maitland Ward.
yes. If you don't know who she is, Google this bitch because oh my goodness, yes. So as your necklace clearly states, you are a girl, aren't you? And you're relatively new to the scene, but just from me being in this little porno bubble for 9 years, you've blown up at an insane rate. Like you've gone from new to A-list, and like it's like she's the Ferrari of porn, like 0 to 100. I love what you do. It's really beautiful. Your son
Mrs. May's number 2 in last government, and who chose not to serve under Mr. Johnson, the current Prime Minister, and he's going to tell us who's going to win the election and whether that's going to bring things to an end. And I'm going to disagree with whatever he says.
First of all, to be recognized, of course, for like all the hot sex stuff and everything, but the acting stuff really means a lot to me. So to be recognized for both is just such a special like validation and like I just love it. It makes me really just really happy to say. You know,
I think that the relations between Russia and the European Union are in the stalemate right now. There has been no major movement in either direction since the European Union accepted the so-called federal democratic principles almost 4 years ago. Both sides apparently believe that time is playing on their side and they can sit on their hands waiting for something to change. However, I think that
in my
on
mind,
both sides we see
sexual
more and more
performance
fatigue
is not just being a
and
sexual person,
more and
as you
more
obviously
intention
are,
to
but
start
you,
gradually
I don't know if
building
it's your
this
background in
relationship.
acting or
I
your
do
camera
hope
awareness,
that
but
if
you
the
seem to have like almost
Normandy
skipped steps in
summit
that regard. Like,
in
I would not
France,
watch your
turns out
performances
to
and
be
think that you had
moderately
been in
successful,
less than a
we
year.
might see new
You've really,
openings,
you know,
because
and of course I think
creativity
everyone
remains
expected you to be
the
an amazing
major
actress, but you
stumbling
really
block
do
on the way
bring
to
something
better relations
special
between
to
Moscow
your
and
roles in
Brussels.
porn, because
If we're
I've
able
always
to
said that
create
even if
at
it's a
least
gonzo
some
film and
positive
there isn't a character and there isn't
dynamics there,
acting,
it would be
still
easy
are
to proceed
acting.
on other issues where Russia and the European Union have common interests.
Somebody asked me to try to like copy certain techniques from other people, and I don't. Absolutely,
democracy. I believe that technology can enable our democratic principles of freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and really freedom of information so that we can make smart decisions about how and where we want to take the future of our countries. I think we have to be mindful of how the technology can be used against us and educate our citizens about those risks. But I think that technology truly is an enabler of our society and that we should continue to embrace it, not refrain from it.
And that night we were like, okay, we're going, and next week we're filming first. And then they're like, contract time. Yeah, right, exactly. But I read the script and I was like, this is not anything I've seen in porn before. Yeah. Even though, I mean, it was just amazing. It is. Yeah. And I think that's the future too. Yeah, it's emotional. We want more in our, there's a place for everything, but we can do better, and I feel like projects like that are showing the world that pornography is more mainstream than what this stereotype. That's what I totally try to do anytime I come across with press or anything. It's like I want mainstream and
2 to 3 months of
together and back
learning
and
are
forth again, and
integrated
be
into
the
every
hottest,
single year that
best,
somebody
deepest
is at
scripts,
work.
and then
The second thing that we know is that the fourth industrial revolution is changing workplaces and the needs of the labor force so quickly that we're also going to need
I actually never thought about it from that perspective.
education systems. And that applies to the delivery and it also applies to the content. One, we need much more technology integrated into schools. And second, we need to ensure that young children are understanding how to apply these technologies in the future, understanding how to collaborate with each other rather than compete with each other.
I'm so happy that it is because I feel like the work that you're doing helps all of us. If that makes sense, I really hope so. I've had some, some of the girls and stuff come up and say, "Wow, you really kicked a hole in the wall for." So we can go and do mainstream stuff because they're very good actresses and stuff. Vice versa. Yeah. And so this year, let's just pound the whole wall down. Take it down. Thank you for this interview. I know that everyone at Adult Empire loves you. I love Adult Empire. You've been amazing to me, and I've had such amazing success with everything. Thank you. I hope you fucking clean up. To drop the F-bomb at the Avian Awards, I think you're that
education here in Nordic countries that doesn't kill initiative, doesn't kill creativity. And of course, that is what it takes to be an entrepreneur. You need creativity, you need to be able to take initiative. So I think that's something that is
I am Shreedaville. We are here with Adult Empire. And for the people who have been living literally under a rock,
catalyst events like Slush
like
that
Patrick
are
Star
very, very different from anywhere else in the world. We actually let our young people take charge.
excited that you're
So
at
if you
the
look at
Avian
Slush,
Awards.
you
Are
know,
you excited?
it happens every year in Helsinki, in Finland. And when you come
Do you have
to
a
this
favorite
part
board
of the world,
performer,
you know,
male or
in Stockholm,
female?
Helsinki, Tallinn, it's definitely going to be cold, dark, there's going to be slush on the ground. So it's very clear that it's not the Silicon Valley. It's much, much better. And it's much, much better because it's
little bit,
different.
but I know Skin Diamond
We
pretty
have
well.
2,400
And whenever I walk
volunteers
around
from
with
more
her,
than 60 countries
like
that
nobody
do this
fucking
fantastic
recognizes
event
me,
called
but
Slush.
everyone, like
And
people
it's
come
really
up
the
to
young
her,
people,
like
they're volunteering,
great.
they're
She's a
there
legend, like
doing and making that
beautiful,
happen,
but like her
because
performances are
they want to be there, they love to be there, not because somebody
have you ever met her in real
told them
life?
that, you know, please do this, please do that, but they're there because they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to make things happen. And they build this event for a few years, the best and biggest on the planet, and after that they go off and they build fantastic startups. So I think that the whole Nordic model is about enabling people to do things and giving
I admire her style
the
very
young
much.
people
Yeah.
and all of us the skills needed
So
to
other
be
than those
successful.
two, if
We
you could
also have
have,
fantastic
if
safety
you
net,
were
so
ever going to be
we
in
all
a
know that
porno,
when you try to do
what
new
would your
things,
fantasy
more
cast
often
be? It
than
doesn't
not,
have to be
you
pornography.
fail. And what do you do then? Hopefully you don't end up in the streets, and dying, but actually you try again. And I think that here in the Nordic countries, it's fantastic to be an entrepreneur.
Now, would it be like a DP, or what would they be
if you
doing?
fail, you're not going to find yourself without a roof over your head, but you're
so
actually
if
you have
I
a
was
safety net, you can
SpongeBob,
go out there and you can try again and again,
I wish I
and
could make
before
that
you
happen
know
for
it,
you.
you build your first unicorn, and after that, hopefully go and build the next one. So I think that is one reason why we have the highest density of unicorns anywhere on the planet, here in Nordic countries, and of course, our friends in Estonia are really in a league of
Empire,
their
and I'm
own.
going to blow it up and hang it on my wall.
1.3 million people, and they have 4 unicorns, Playtex, Skype, TransferWise, and now
At
the
you
latest one
artists
being
right
Bolt.
now. Yes.
1.3 million people.
You've
4
made my
unicorns,
dreams
that's
come
more than
true, so
20%
I'm
of the
happy.
unicorns in Europe, actually.
adoring
So the
fans
rest of
of
Europe needs to get its act together.
emotional over your dress.
Roughly
This is
3,100 people,
stunning.
300,000
Can you turn in this? Can I see everything? Oh my
that's
god, I
actually
mean,
quite
clearly this is
exceptional.
custom.
So I think that we should all be more like Estonia, and that's something that we can definitely strive to here in Europe. So
run
let's
Gunner's
go
World.
out there and
So if
do
you remember
things,
that,
and we'll end up with
and I
lots of
hired
new
him.
unicorns
I found him on
all over
Etsy,
Europe.
and I was like, "Hey, would you please make me a dress? I'm a porn girl, so hopefully you want to make one for me." Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh shit, girl, I was a porn star too." So I'm just very thankful for him and helping.
For
Made
us
this
in
only
the
in 1
European
month.
round table, which
This-
gathers the
yeah.
55 largest
This
companies,
is the
most
dress of the
important
night.
companies in Europe,
Like if anyone says
Europe's
it isn't, they're
competitiveness
fucking
is absolutely
lying. Thank you.
key.
It's very
The
heavy.
world is changing.
Is it heavy? Is it metal? Can I touch it a
We've
little?
continued the work for free trade,
touch it. Okay.
more and more
Okay, it's varnished. I'm like,
protectionism growing in both East and West.
no, I would never. It looks way too delicate. I'm like, is it metal? Is it? Yes.
Europe is successful, and there are a few challenges that really stick out here. First, it's digitalization.
Have an after party.
The world is becoming digital through artificial intelligence and through the rollouts of 5G. This opens up for huge opportunities in every single part of society.
Asked about someone's dress as much as yours, but like you rolled in with that, and that's awesome.
Invest more, do more.
Fans probably wanted this is like a girl.
Europe
So your fans
is
want to
in
know.
the lead in this, and this is an area where we
11
can
knots.
take advantage of business opportunities, and it's important, of course, for the planet. So that's an area where we
would
also
like
have
to
to
win
come
Performer of the Year
together.
again.
And then,
I
of
always get my
course,
hopes up.
we are
I feel like I'm like
believers
closing in on like
free
milk
trade
years
or free
almost.
trade
So I need to get one of my
agreed
vagina's still
rules.
young.
So
Before I go
this is
to
now
milk
a threat that we
category,
need to
it's all
stand
right on
up
this side of
for.
the grass, but you're young.
So
You're young
be
money.
realistic
That's
and
not like.
make sure that we
My bank account's
navigate
happy with
this
them.
new landscape in an effective
And
way.
then I did teas for Vixen and Tushy. So I would really love to win Best Teas because I had to walk down like really small stairs and Louboutins. And then there was like 10 guys and some of them were ballet dancers and they were like picking me up. And Craig's like, sing louder. And I'm like, I can't sing. Oh, you were actually singing in that? This is a rehearsal. Oh, I did not know that. It wasn't really my voice. I'm not that cool.
States that can
But you
send
had
the
to sing a
correct
little in the
signals
rehearsal
to
so that
markets to
like
move
the
in the
word words
direction
and
they want.
that was I saw that. It was
What states
really
can do
impressive.
is actually to promote the good
And it would be cool to
and
win
tax
showcase.
the bad.
And who's your big
states
showcase
are
for
there
this?
to promote the greatest
Johnny
public good.
Darko.
I have experiences in many parts of the world where
Have you ever done a movie
and
that
clever
wasn't
public policy has
one
actually
time and
ramped
actually like
up
fans
industrial
complained?
competitiveness
Yeah, I was like,
and
I'm sorry
the growth
to the
of
director,
markets,
but
in particular
they
renewable
fucked up.
energy markets. I
feel
can
like it
state
was
the
like
case
a
of
little
Latin
bit
America,
where
of
this was
several
come out.
Latin American
And like
countries,
people were like,
for
what
example,
is
in the case
this?
of
Like what?
Mexico.
They had a heart attack. I had a heart attack when they told me I had to
Decades
spit the come out. I was like, I would
policy
never
in
play a
giving
character like
a
this.
clear
Like you get to
vision
suck it back
as
up.
well as,
No, like
renewable
you
energy
just
targets
I
and
would be
leading
like, ew,
the
I'm grossed
markets
out and
to
walk
set
away.
up
Yeah, it was insane. It was the weirdest thing I've ever
prices
done in my life. That's the most
was
ridiculous thing
drove
I've ever heard.
lowest, solar price for renewable energy in the world in 2017. You can count that example and many other examples where the public policy has actually catalyzed an industrial revolution for the good. We are in a moment of a planetary emergency. We are both in a nature crisis as well as in a climate crisis, and if the states don't
Well, I am Shreedaville. This is Adult Empire. And for anyone who's absolutely insane and doesn't know who you are,
it's going to be difficult that we get where we want to get. Businesses are waiting, progressive
I thought you were going to
businesses
say a
are
fake
waiting,
name for a second.
but
That
if we don't
mischief.
have a
I
common
saw there was like a mischief in his eyes. I'm like this guy right now.
That wasn't quick enough.
businesses and non-state actors that
So
are
I'm sure you're up for a multitude of awards. What are some of your favorites this year?
Everything related to Drive, which was our premiere feature for Deeper. I really want Maitland to take what she's nominated for. She's our on-time star. I know she's like selling like crazy for you guys. So
We have been doing
she
quite
premiered with you guys, didn't she? Am I wrong?
in the world
she,
the
her
last
first
years.
big project was with us, and she'd done some stuff for the
Commission
Blacks
negotiates
just
on
before
behalf
that.
of 28
Yeah, but yeah, within our little
which
family.
gives us a big
But
strength.
now she's contracted
With
just
Canada,
with you
with
guys.
Japan, with Singapore, with
awesome, and you
Mexico,
guys have put out
and
some
others are in
amazingly
negotiations.
stunning. I
And
mean,
of course,
she's
with the
stunning,
changing climate,
but
with countries
your
not
directing is
respecting
stunning, your
WTO
videography
rules,
is stunning.
countries going
The movies
increasingly
are
bilateral.
both beautiful and sexual, but also emotional.
There is a challenge there, so we are looking at how to reform our policies, of course, to be still able to do trade agreements, to strengthen the WTO and reform it with other like-minded countries, but also to protect ourselves against countries who are not playing according to
your man out, and I
rules,
like
to make sure that European
free labor.
the level playing field is respected. We have changed our trade defense mechanisms. We have implemented a coordination mechanism for investment screening, and we are looking at how to sharpen our tools. So this will be a key issue for the new commission coming in as well.
A lot of titties, right?
We got Gabby Carter in another scene.
Yeah, there was a lot of titties.
That is absolutely amazing, you guys. Now he's got the big smile, and he's like, movies, it was so good.
Brexit. I think the truthful answer is that we
You're like, who are the hottest women in porn? Let's give them to my man.
There was only one pair of boobies
to complete the first chapter.
What?
Either Boris
But like,
Johnson
these
or
are fake
in
movies.
which
The
case
movies you had are like
Britain will exit the European Union on or about the
You heard it here first.
end of
Movies are
January
movies.
2020. Or alternatively,
Free
if
the
there
nipple.
is
Well, I hope you guys win,
parties
especially
combined, then there will be a second referendum
gets
in the middle of next
awards.
year.
You guys
The trouble
deserve
is
it. I feel like you're really
of those outcomes
doing something
is going to
different
settle
in
things
porn. I know people
definitively.
always use that. It becomes a little bit
Because
trite,
second
but
referendum, it might well lead to a narrow vote to remain in the EU.
well, good luck. I
not
hope you win a
end
whole
the
bunch of
division
stuff.
in the United Kingdom. And of
Adult
course,
Empire loves
if
you.
Mr. Johnson wins his majority, then we've got to negotiate the new relationship on trade, on security, on foreign policy cooperation between the United Kingdom,
with Adult
which
Empire
will
and
remain a big European power, a major player in defence and security and economic terms.
We're doing Gemtown.
But it's going to be next door to the European Union. Those 27 countries are going to be my country's most important trading partner, our closest geographical democratic neighbours for as far ahead as I can possibly see. So working that through is going to take, I fear,
So what are you up for this year? I am up for Performer of the Year and Chief of Beauty, which is kind of the one I did a lot with, is up for Series of the Year. So Shape of Beauty is up for Series of the Year.
To get this right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
European
And then,
democracy
as you know,
is
we
under
got another trophy
massive
earlier,
strain
which was
from
Hall of
Russian
Fame.
aggression,
Yes.
from
Oh my God,
dramatic
so how many years have you been
economic
sucking
change
dicks?
that is adding to public mistrust
And I'm
in
really
the
good
way
at it after
in which
15
we
years. Like,
do
I hope to
business.
be able to be sucking
So
dicks in 15
getting
years.
the
You will.
geopolitics right, having a constructive future relationship between the UK and our neighbours in the EU 27 is important for the whole of the European democratic community.
So what is the beautiful, stunning, glorious Bella Danger up for this year? Whoa, that was a very good introduction. No, it should be better. I'm coming in for stuff. Same.
I don't think anyone wins in trade conflicts, and even the word war is I think a bit overstated because wars
everything.
end up being
If you can list the awards, she's probably up for it. Including Male Performer of the Year.
Should be
I should be. Fuck. She can wield a fucking strap better than most of these dudes.
And by closing off your own markets, you increase costs to your own people. In the United States, about 50% of imports are for commodities or intermediate goods. So if you raise those costs, you raise costs for manufacturers and consumers in the United States, or same would be the case in Europe. And in the case of the U.S. and China, I think that we're in a very dangerous situation. I think that there are many reasons and frustrations with China. Some of them are justifiable about forced technology transfer, intellectual property rights, reciprocity. There's also concerns about Chinese security and other policies.
Without fast
think
food, I don't
you can
believe
find
you can
allies
grow
within
that
China
epic.
on a number
Yeah,
of
I
trade
die at the
issues,
gym,
and
so
you
I can
actually
like
want to try to keep pushing
build the
both
muscles,
sides
and
to
then you
a
give it that tiny
rules-based
bit of
system.
squish it needs.
So I think that the path that we're on with China has led to more of confrontation. And in fact, what you're probably going to need to see is some combination of competition, cooperation, and confrontation, or at least drawing lines on some issues. So I think with a country as big as China, you need a more
Every
multifaceted
taco
policy.
went to your breasts. Or, sorry, we're on camera. I gotta just like.
gamification and game-based learning indeed is the future of lifelong learning. I believe that because as we train the new generations of in the workforce, we know that we need to create materials that are a lot more engaging, that are a lot more useful, and that are going to have an impact in the way that they learn and in the way that they acquire the new skills that they need in order to remain competitive in the marketplace. What a better way to do that than through video games. As children, we learn through playing, and we believe that through gamification and through game-based learning, we can make learning fun again, not only for children, which we know is the best way to learn, but also from adults. If they play these video games, they will become more engaged, as I said earlier. They will also acquire that knowledge much more deeply, and they will be able to apply that knowledge in their daily jobs. And finally, by doing the video games through the simulators, they will be able to have experiential learning, to get the feedback on what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and learn from that.
Okay, I have my strap on with me. Yes. Okay, girl, are you ready for this? This is a little hard-hitting, okay? If you had one porn-related superpower, what would it be?
Very clearly, I think the world is moving towards a circular economy. It's a necessity. When you look at water scarcity, when you look at waste pollution, everybody is now aware of that. If we want to make a conciliation between the planet for our children and economic development, we need to move towards a circular economy, and by education, by innovation, by a different way of doing business, both for citizens and also by companies, we will make this move which will help us collectively to have a planet great again.
Fairy godmother. And I'm here to bestow your wish on you. Are you ready? Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Oh, it did. It fucking worked. Oh my god.
The future of entertainment in the 21st century is going to be shaped by the twin forces of globalization and digitalization, both of which are going to be terrific for consumers. Digitalization means that people will be able to consume entertainment wherever and whenever they want, and globalization means that opportunity will be given to people around the globe. While there's some concern that large companies are going to dominate the future of the entertainment landscape, I actually have a different view, because I feel that digitalization is very empowering to creators. And when you think about phenomena like user-generated consumption, these are powerful forces. Similarly, digitalization has allowed the falling of distribution barriers. So not only is production much easier, but the ability to distribute to people is much easier. And we're really living in a golden age of entertainment with more choices than we have. And that also means a greater democratization of ideas. And again, all of this is happening on a global scale, which is really enabled by digital technology.
Yes! Oh my god. So now the sexy people are here. Now they have arrived and oh hi. A beautiful face.
I would say that the characteristics of a Nordic education system is that, first of all, we have a very inclusive system based on public funding where there should be room for all. I think students are taught to think independently about critical thinking and also quite a lot of creativity baked into our education. I would especially commend the Finnish system where they put their best teachers for the youngest students, and they use a lot of resources in preschool and also first to third grade to ensure that the children are best possibly equipped for future learning. And I believe that that's the best investment you can make, is to invest in the kids when they're really young, so you lay the foundation
So that's
for
all
their
of them.
future
For
learning.
all the things. So you can just say, Autumn is nominated for everything. And you, my friend?
13 nominations.
What?
13.
13 nominations. Are there more than 13 awards? I think you might have all of them except Female Performer
What
of the
is
Year.
actually the biggest threat from cybersecurity for Europe? Of course, we can concentrate and focus on the security side, but I would take it a bit on the other side.
Oh my
that
God!
if
Look,
we really
we have
go to
here
focus too much on the
two-time
security
winner of
side, then
Xmas,
it
MILF
really would slow down
extraordinaire.
our development. I think it is the biggest
the
threat
fact that
is
this
that
one
we
is
lose
saying that, come on.
competitiveness. And that is for me the whole part,
Okay.
because if we want to be
your
leaders in
interview, woman.
innovation, we should also know innovation
for looking
it has two
amazing.
aspects. First, I think you must have a great
So,
idea,
other
but
than
you must be the first.
obviously MILF
So that means
Performer
speed,
of
and we
the
must make sure
Year.
that
What are you up?
I think we have an ability
Performer
to be
Showpiece of the
innovative
Year.
and to be the first and to have speed.
Which
So for me,
you-
that
your
is the
outfits
biggest
in
threat
that
for
were
cybersecurity to get a slowdown.
Years.
Johnny.
I figured you chose them because they're like so good.
I even told him, I'm like, are you sure you're not a woman born into
So are
something
we
that you're
suffering
not supposed to?
from
Because you just, he's got it on point.
eco-anxiety?
And he's like, that is the last
The
thing I
simple
am. I'm like,
answer
that is
is
right
yes,
true.
possibly too much.
Yeah, he did it all.
Eco-anxiety
I
is
was so happy after
definitely
10 years.
triggered by the fact
I
that
saved it knowing
we
that
are facing
I
a
had to
very
do my first
urgent
one with
matter
someone
with
trusted.
climate, but at the same
Someone I
time,
knew
it's also
and I've said it
because we're
before,
facing
his
something
words
that is
were,
very complex. It's very
I was
difficult
doing like
to
low
understand
bandage
the
with first
impact
scene,
of
and he
climate
just goes,
change, and it's very difficult to understand the solutions
stop
to reach a low carbon economy.
But that's how you are.
So
like
in the world of
you're not
investment
gonna lay
where
back
I am,
and just
what
take
I
it. You're
see
gonna do
is
your job. You're gonna
those who
fuck.
are
You're gonna
actually
enjoy yourself.
acting
Depending
every
on
day to invest
character.
in climate change
But
investments,
usually
and
because of
low
us,
carbon
it would
economy
be the more
investments
dominating
are
one.
actually less
Because that's what us
susceptible
MILFs
to
play, the cougar, the
eco-anxiety
attacker,
because they can
right?
see the
Well,
result
you
and
know,
the
when you're
impact
doing it
of
as
what they
well
do.
as
But
the
really
list of
what
performers
is
this
needed
year,
to
it's a
decrease
genre
this
that most people are
anxiety
still loving, and
is
it's
more
like, damn,
examples
stop doing it so
of,
good then.
impactful
Well, thank God they're still loving it for us, right? All the way to the bank.
Honey, it is not going anywhere. As long as we're here.
There you go. As long as Bridget and I are holding this shit down. No,
We are holding this shit down. I got one hip left, okay?
stop it. All right. So if you could have any porn-related superpower at all, what would it be?
I think we had been in a situation where
I
U.S.
would
and West
love-
European support for Ukraine was
my.
very well coordinated,
You know that
and we were maintaining a consistent pressure on Russia to begin to
your-
negotiate seriously about ending its
say it without
occupation of
sounding
eastern
as
Ukraine.
non-ladylike, without
Unfortunately,
the
I think now
relaxed
the impeachment dynamics in the U.S. have
And
really
there's a
knocked U.S.
moment
policy
when
off the table. We don't have the people, we don't have the engagement, we don't have the same focus, and as a result, I think that takes a lot of the pressure off of
I wish
Russia
I had a
to
superpower
negotiate.
that I can make that happen.
I'm hopeful that as we have
Oh,
a
like it was
Normandy
effortless.
format
Like
summit,
right now on the red
possibly
carpet,
on
some
the,
male performer could
December
come up
9th,
and
it may
boom.
take a little bit longer, that
There you go.
contain some of that
Although I
negotiating
love doing my
dynamic,
noses without
but
prep or
I'm
anything
afraid
because
that
I
right
want
now
fans to see
the
that
situation
moment.
is
Kind of do
much more
too. Like
difficult for
I
Ukraine than it
vacillate
should be.
between the two. Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you can just slide it in, you look like there's a problem. If you can just slide it, let's see the where's the ego.
Yeah. You want them to be like, it's not. Is it gonna fit? Is it not gonna fit? The audience has that moment. I have that moment.
Everyone has a moment.
Of civil society in modern Russia. I would say it's a very important issue. Why? Because in Russia, political competition is limited. There are no real opposition parties. So the society stands up to the autocratic regime through organizing itself, through building trust, through providing public goods that the corrupt and inefficient state cannot provide. And it's not just protesting corruption. It's not just about asking for democracy and rule of law. Civil society today is working on helping the poor, helping the disadvantaged, fighting domestic violence, promoting gender equality, defending minorities. So this is actually where the European future for
I
Russia
thought you were gonna have an orgasm with that
with a new communication technology, with internet, it's easier to organize itself, it's easier to inform itself, and it's easier to promote change, creating new Russia that eventually will become part of Greater Europe.
You did. I saw a tear.
Well, the guy had carbohydrates in 2 weeks. This is amazing.
So what are you up for this year at the 2020?
So I'm up for 5, but I only know female performers.
At a time when 1,000 NATO troops are stationed at the border between Estonia and Russia to deter possible Russian aggression, when President Macron is speaking about what he calls Serbia concentrique, when citizens in Moldova and Georgia are questioning whether Europe and the US will come to rescue if there is a security guarantee, and when sanctions against Russia and counter embargoes have become kind of the very essence of the idea of a European security policy. Well, what can we expect from Russia? We know that Putin is actually more popular than most of his competitors. But will Medvedev be a different leader than Putin? In short, can we expect a different kind of trajectory from Russia in the coming years when the bureaucratic elite inside Russia is focusing more on digitalization than what some might call modernization? As always,
you don't want to
views on
accidentally
Russia
insult
are
someone's
diverging.
dick, right? You want to be like, you have the biggest dick in the world, and say something totally wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So I could understand them, they could understand me, and I could just maneuver my way through the world and just have sex with whoever I felt like. Yeah.
All right. Well, Adult Empire loves you.
I love Adult Empire.
Liberal democracy can survive the current period of disruption, but it's going to have to change. The volatility and the risks that we are witnessing across much of the Western world are anchored in some very deep changes that have been swirling beneath our democracies, that have been coming for many years and still have a long way to run. They relate to
I didn't even know you were
strong
walking
feelings of
together, but now that I
distrust in the political system, widespread fears over the perceived destruction of ways of life, national identity, big worries over deprivation, the way in which the economic settlement is playing out, and weakening bonds between the mainstream parties and ordinary voters. Those four currents have been with us for a very long time, before the Great Recession, before the arrival of Facebook and Twitter and Big Tech, but they are now producing very substantive political effects, and they will continue
expert at all of your jobs. That's what the industry is saying.
So liberal democracy has to change. It has to make its political systems more representative. It has to ensure that people feel that their nations and communities are secure and have strong and robust external borders. And it also, over the long term, needs to devise an economic settlement that ensures that everybody feels that they are relatively
I'm going to let you speak for her then. How do you feel about
other groups in society are getting as well. Very big challenges. No clear answer as to now. The ball is very much in liberal democracy's court.
That's it? Yeah, she's not saying properly. So now I need you to be scared. This is my only chance to win Best Director this year, because next year she will be like here and win everything.
Win all of them.
All of them.
She's going to put a strap on and will male performer of the year as well, and then
So
everyone's going to
bringing
be mad.
Trilateral to Slovenia means also bringing Slovenia to Trilateral. And as you know, David Rockefeller Fellows had a pre-program. It is our pleasure that we connected them at the MCHM breakfast with Slovenian Business Society. They were talking about the global issues and how connected the world is, with some local representatives and even some members of Trilateral. It is also our pleasure that the former Prime Minister, who is the current Minister for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Miro Cerar, had the time to meet with them and discuss where the Europe is today and where the Europe is going. And of course, we have finished our program with amazing lunch with Professor Dan
On an
Azor.
island, no electric, nothing. So is it like Hunger Games
democracy will not survive in an unchanged form.
Not just anyone can
It
go
has
on the
not been
3-hour
changing
tour.
enough to accommodate the vast, speedy development of the internet and of the communication technologies. And it has been changing too much, given the rather static nature of men.
Yes. Hello, 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 hello. I am Cherie DeVille. This is Adult Empire, and with whom do we have the pleasure of speaking?
Violet
The Violet fucking doll. I know who
have
you
a crystal
are.
ball?
I social media stalk you
we're in the
secretly.
middle of a
Although it's not as much of a secret when I say it out loud on Zoom.
And it's very hard to
I'm happy to be stalked by you. Stalk me more, please.
parliamentary drama.
Now, what awards are you up for this year?
Conservative Party,
Favorite
drama in the country at large. I do not.
If you guys have not, like, you look like sweet and innocent, like a living Barbie doll, but she is the best, fiercest fucking doll.
Thank you, that's how I realize.
It must be. You're like, don't worry, I won't hurt you. I'm so adorable. And then they come to you and you're like, rah.
Exactly.
後ほど、これが
A good surgical